Hello, beautiful souls. I've got a cold, hoping it's not the bovid, because I've been fighting it off for a week, and seems like the bovid went through my ex's house, whose house I cleaned, and my children got it, my adult children. And it's weird because always some people test positive for it, and some people don't, which doesn't matter either way. I'm just about over my 5 days of incubation period, which by then you're well into the 5 of the 10. So whatever, that's a long idiotic story of craziness that was another game. So I want to talk a bit again about the shamanic frequency and the white light, which is the revelations white light. And I don't want to confuse people with just the Bible and just the script, because this is in prophecies across the board in every script. The red comes, the blue comes, or is it the blue then the red? Whatever. But either way, the red star, the blue star, then the white light. And the earth is doing that right now. We're getting, besides the sun, we're getting bathed in white light. The frequency of the earth is turning into white light via the Schumann frequency. And what I was taught as a child about was all fear-mongering, basically, about Christianity, was not empowering at all. And yes, they still talked about, the whole prosperity gospel stuff. And that was how my church went from a little church that was built by hard-working people to a gigantic church with a gym and all this entertainment, which I don't even know if they use anymore, but whatever. The church and the world walked far apart at one time, which didn't last long. And ever since, they've been walking hand in hand. And Christians don't like it when you say stuff like that, but too bad. It's the white light time, babies. It's time for everything to get revealed. Everything. Not just from the white light goody side of Jesus and the Krishnas and all. Everything. So I'm steaming my face with white vinegar and water. Because if you've got a sore throat and you can't reach down there and clear it out, breathe it in. And it's really good for the house because it kills mold. Though, you don't want to steam up your house too much. It creates mold. So last night when I was going to sleep, I researched word, because often a word will come to my mind and then I research it. And back when I first started meditating years ago and was receiving a lot, from my inner spirit and from the exterior world, no separation, the soul. But anyways, when I was doing that, what happened was words would come to my head, scientific terms, things I never knew and didn't hear before, and so I'd go to my phone and look them up. And back before Bovid, you could look something up and immediately find answers on it. It didn't matter how esoteric it was or non-scientific, whatever. But since then, there's been already a mass culling of information. Because, why? Because everything's coming out. Now, a lot of esoteric information has been hidden by individuals in music, so mostly dark music, and the white light, it's out there mostly, except for what needs to be hidden. Because there's a spot of dark in every bit of whiteness, right? And every bit of light. Talking about the yin yang there. So, I'm losing my space here. Anyway, so the culling of information has started. The reason being is that when this white light comes in, everything gets revealed. All this information comes to the surface. I've been saying this since 2017. With the fire, the white light, and the rising of the white light from the earth, which some people would say is goody goods and some people would say is the jinn. It's a frequency. It's white light. It has no smoke. It's just white light. It's just pure light. Now, I'm not saying fallen the jinn pure white light. They sure get away with a lot of crap, don't they, though? I'm just saying that there is no difference with God in the left and the right. just as far as they keep laws. And if they don't, they're punished in certain ways, which we've learned little bits about. But the information is growing exponential even in, the music industry and video games. So I looked up this sentence last night that the eye gave me here. And the eye here was developing pictures for, because then I saw pictures, like as soon as I opened up my mind to that realm, ton of pictures, ton of faces. And that's what happens with my third eye, which they say is part of clearing. To me, it's part of clearing because something else is trying to cause fear, so you don't go into that room or that department or that realm of knowledge. But everything's getting revealed anyways. So I was looking up a video unbeknownst to myself, because it was a script, and it was about the 9, which not only have I heard about, but that I have experienced and I speak about. Now, the 9 are the 9 planets, which also are embodied in 9 alien type beings, which we call alien type beings, which we call also fallen angels, because they're stuck in a dimension where they really don't belong. As part of their experience, and they do use bodies to body hop, as they did when they went after as many women as they wanted, the 200 angels, whatever. But then the 9 are also relative to, not the 9 fallen archangels, the 9 archangels, or whatever you think of those as, but the planets, the wandering stars. They're also the 9, who also, during a time of judgment, gave up they're planetary, and Pluto would be considered in that. Pluto is the one who's a little off to the side and not aligned with the others in the ancient scripts, so Pluto's included. Now, some people talk about the whole Planet X thing. I'm not going to get into that, but maybe there's another planet, or maybe there's a spaceship. It's already kind of been proven there's spaceships that sit, in certain places, or I should say vessels full of human souls. Because once you're out in a certain part of the realm of the heavens, you're not considered alive anymore. That's my own personal opinion. That's from my own channeling. And if you place too long in the astral realms, which are interdimensional, and you go beyond a certain point in the heavens, beyond the heliosphere, I believe. There's other names for that junk collection, which used to be part of planets and was destroyed. Some say during the flood, whatever. There's different ideas about it. I haven't deeply studied that. That's more stuff I've channeled. So again, the 9 also are in this empty bit of space beyond the heliosphere, which most people have to study a long time. Remember, we're in a time of white light, so watch who you call a liar, because you'll be calling yourself a liar. And I've had to learn that the hard way. So most people have to go there by first having an interest, directing their energy and meditation toward that space, or in some way, shape, or form meeting someone else on Earth who knows the original 9, who were from India, who had all these ancient knowledge and wisdom, text, scripts, things, and they were condensed into the most dangerous ones, and the ones that the least amount of humans should know. And because information was getting wiped off the Earth, they were each given ability to be eternal in some senses, not in a body necessarily, but as a conscious spirit going back and forth and traveling between realms. Now, that information, got hijacked by certain people, because the 9 isn't always just the 9. Not only have they got a body hop, my opinion, but information is getting revealed from people who happen to end up in some part in or near the heliosphere through near-death experiences, which to me is why we're having so many of them, besides to confuse the hell out of people. which is a funny saying, by the way. You don't confuse the hell out of people, that brings you to hell. Confusion. So when I used to, or the way you used to, or I used to communicate with that was brought to me. So if you bring your attention to a space, to any space or dimension, it's also going to see you and feel you and know you and experience you. And some of these realms think you belong to them after that, especially if your soul isn't directed toward a devotion, or you haven't actualized and woke that soul, a living soul, which scripts talk about, the Atman Guru, the living soul, which continues to form into, if one goes with it and keeps practicing, the Enchristed being, and changes the whole body. The crystalline stuff info is out there, which I don't consider 100% correct. I consider the vibration to be parallel, compatible with the light that's coming in right now, 1111. So as I'm sharing this as a vlog, very laid back, blowing my nose here, being real. I am real. I don't do my makeup. I just roll out of bed and I'm not dressed. I'm in my PJs and I'm steaming my face. Why? Because I've always been under some kind of other people's framework of reality and had mine stripped down so many times that the things that culturally turn you on, or things you have to have before you to take somebody seriously, I don't care about. Because all the things I found out that I got vilely persecuted for 10 years and violated for over and over again is all true. So I don't take anybody else's thought forms, though I do realize other people are not me, not my soul, not my being, and not ending up in the same realm of thought that I will be going to. So take that as it resonates. I believe that that is a choice, or that you're smart and strong enough to make your own, which is why some people are very attacked by people who only want certain realities to exist and people to go to there because they're gimme, gimme, mine, and lack, lack. And such is the realm of darkness beyond the heliosphere, which some call the Great Mother, which that's been my experience. You don't have to call it that. You know, like the Dark Halley is like the largest of black holes. This is how she's described. The largest, greatest, and deepest of black holes. And of course that means everything will eventually go back to that original Ma, or darkness, because it's Omega and it will start again. So basically, like, I think of Alpha and Omega as this. If you think of it as a tiny timeline, it's much easier to understand, where it's beginning and ending. But right against the back of a new beginning is the ending, and they're actually the same space that switch places. Now, some people say with the white light coming in that we're going to choose where we're going, say up the pole to the ancestors, which I speak of and wanted. And I want many things in life as I understand things more, but I bow to my soul, because soul in the end has, no matter what I've done, good or bad, what the eye has reviewed from the other side of the Ma, or what the white light judges me as, you know, like, I have come to terms with the fact that I am a living soul, and that whatever way I face death is my choice, because I'm not giving it away to somebody else, of course. So more on the heliosphere and the I should be saying it this way, the realm beyond the Corona Borealis. You can look that up. It's on a star map. It's actually a real place. So I'm saying there's a realm behind there that once someone dies and they're supposed to go to another realm, they are not supposedly allowed back here and shouldn't be. Some people call that hell, and some people just call it the complete wipe of who your soul always was and all the information it ever gained, and that goes back to the Ma. So people that speak about this in video games and in songs because some of them have gone too far into the astral and know they can't go back, which I don't know what they're afraid of, but I guess having to live there eternally. I am going to bring the Illuminati into this at some point because it was India that accidentally created that. Not saying they did it on purpose, but I even told my doctor, like when we were talking about the yoga and the practices I did at one point, which I haven't been doing, and I probably wouldn't be sick if I was really up on that. But, I talked to her about how the wrong parts of Vedic culture were brought over here to America and then turned into cults. And she was agreeable because she said it happens there too because there's so many different religions. But like her people kind of without excuse, she was saying because, you shouldn't play with that anyways. Like you shouldn't do that. You're allowed to have your devotions, but you shouldn't be creating realities or worlds that you need to put other people in. So back to and you can look all this stuff up online in video games and music about the void or the Ma or the emptiness, the black hole behind the Corona Borealis, if that's the crown you want to wear. Heavy is the crown of kings, right? Talking about the netter, talking about kings who thought they could make themselves the netter, so they gave themselves to the netter. And they were original creations and thought forms of the Godhead, from which everything came. So like people would say, the Alpha. So the Alpha and Omega, though we can see them as separate and we experience them as separate, they're not separate. In the Bible we talk about it. It's one being, Alpha and Omega. I'm the beginning and the end. I'm the first and the last. That is the God in the Christian Bible. It's not separate. It's one. And when you realize you have a soul, you also realize you're not separate. You're one. You're not separate from anything. And this is the thing I don't get about the Dark Atlantean lords or the Nine or the however you've experienced them in your conscious white light realm here, which is never going to be exactly the way that they are. And people are going to have different experiences. And that's what creates the confusion because everyone thinks they're right. And I'm telling you quite frankly, there's no such thing as everybody right until we turn back to the Alpha and Omega and everything starts over again as it is in the beginning. And so the thing is this blackness, this darkness, what it wants is to conclude and end everything. That's who it is. It's what it is. While the light wants to continue to create and begin again and start anew. Not saying one is good and one is bad, because this is the huge problem with Hollywood, with video games, with the Illuminati, with religions, is separating God and reality into two camps when it's literally the same thing. Now, I'm not saying that Jesus and Satan are the same thing. I believe that they were morning stars that sang together before the fall of those beings from their place where obviously they live. Now, the stars, or if you want to call them orbs in the sky, the pools, within the pools there's light, within the darkness there's pools of light, and everything communicates through that mycelium network, which is the plasma in the heavens. It's all connected. So literally everything's connected up there. So different ideas of heaven and belief systems are literally spheres and monads and these places that want their information or that are information. The planets at one time were also upper heavenly bodies which fell. It's why they're called wandering stars. And the Jews called themselves wandering stars. Why? Because they fall after the god, and people are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to say it, Jupiter. Jupiter, the father of the Jews. Or you could say Zeus, if that's what you're going to call it. But obviously different people call things different things. And then even with adding in my Native American ancestry, all things are called different things too, but they tend to be like this. We call the sun, the moon, the stars, all these things, different things. They're our family, they're our ancestors, unless we decide to work with the darkness, which many are choosing to do right now because Ma's calling them home to where they belong. That's my belief system. And that is only going to be for a short period while this white light comes in and people are going to be cleansed off the earth. I mean, even right now, we hear the government is killing a bunch of the dog people and a bunch of these people that thought, oh, the way I'm going to stay safe is to become this all-consuming vampiric werewolfy thing and whatever. You deal with the military. It ain't my problem. Now, the military in America is for the ma. Because if if they connect with that thought form as I have and you hear in some of the videos, but I don't have the same belief systems they do and my family did, ancient family I'm talking about, once you connect with that, you have the idea and the energy of, let's wrap this mofo up and start all over again. Like all the information brought back to the mother, and we begin again as the father, the extension of the mother, the light. So I'm going to stop the video here and start again because I have so much information when I start getting these downloads that it blows me away, and I'm just beginning to learn and relearn. So I'm going to stop right here. Thank you.